So, hello, everybody. This is Misty, your guardian nurse. Thank you for being here today. Again, I'm a board certified holistic nurse and board certified health and wellness nurse coach. And today I just wanted to present my first webinar, or lunch and learn actually, on the general pillars of health, looking at it from the perspective of men's health. So I've seen plenty of men over the years, and I do continue to work in men's health because there are limited resources out there for men who want to proactively take charge of their own health. So, in fact, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, they have an Office of Women's Health, but there isn't a similar program for men's health. So the traditional medical approach relies on waiting until disease or illness actually presents itself with symptoms. And then we're putting out fires with prescription medications or procedures, as opposed to preventing them in the first place. So a holistic approach integrates lifestyle and prevention in a science-based and comprehensive way. Holistic health and wellness is what provides the support so you can actually win at whatever matters most to you. Not just building muscles or reacting to disease or illness. It's about what tools you should have in your toolbox for optimal health. Because the fact is, when you're healthy, you can win, right? And then you can reach your goals. So 80% of chronic conditions are lifestyle related. Just because your father or grandfather suffered a certain fate doesn't mean that you will also. It's been shown that what we do and eat and our life experiences and exposures, and even what we think, influences how our genes are expressed. That is, which genes get turned on and which get turned off. So you may inherit a gene that puts you at risk for a certain medical condition, but you can lessen your chance of getting it by turning off that gene. How we turn genes on and off, that's called epigenetics. So what turns a gene on or off exactly? We know that diet, stress, and physical activity all directly influence whether these genes get turned on or not. It's even affected by environmental factors such as exposure to pollutants and just overall stress. So men who take good care of themselves, they feel better, they look better, and they greatly improve their health. You are the expert of your body, and you hold the key to unlocking its full potential by making healthy lifestyle changes. The best approach is holistic and proactive, identifying what's getting in the way and what you can do about it. So let's get started on your journey. Today, I want to introduce the foundation of my practice. It's called the 6 pillars of health. Each of these pillars is just as important as all the rest. So healthy eating is important, but spiritual health is actually just as important. So honestly, each one of these pillars, this is an hour-long workshop all in itself. So today I'm just touching on each one briefly, hopefully with some tips you can start using right away. So first, healthy eating. The type of food you eat is critical, right? We all know that. Switching to a healthier diet has a powerful influence on the working of our cells at a cellular level. So what you eat creates your internal environment. The goal is to lower inflammation, oxidation, stress, insulin resistance, and cholesterol. Food directly impacts all of these factors. So the current research shows that focusing on whole foods, plant-based as much as possible, it is how is the healthiest diet. I mean, there is no one size fits all diet. That's why nutrition is so controversial, and everybody has their cultural considerations. So diet is a little tougher to sort out because there really isn't a black or white perfect answer. But overall, we want to avoid saturated fats and processed foods. This is a whole workshop all in itself. But I just wanted to touch on um, that idea today. Next, physical activity. The average American man will lose 12 to 20 pounds of muscle, 15% of bone density, and almost 2 inches of height as he ages. So diet and exercise are what kind of make up the difference there to prevent those losses. Because as humans, we're meant to move. We're not meant to sit in front of a computer all day or have a desk job. Sitting for long stretches at a time, hunched over a desk, or traveling long work commutes, or reclining every night to watch TV for a couple hours, that's ruining our health. It's causing actual metabolic changes in our body, leading to certain health conditions. So movement actually can work just as effectively as medication, as prescription medications for many health conditions. Of course, take your prescriptions. They're important. But if the goal is to eventually get off of those prescriptions, work with your doctor, and this is non-negotiable. You have to move. You have to figure out how that fits into your lifestyle, and have it scheduled on your schedule. If it's not on your schedule, it most likely will not happen. And you're not losing time, right? You're investing in a better body and decreasing the need for medications. And over time, going to the doctor, having labs, having procedures, taking medications, that's more expensive and more time consuming than putting these practices in place right now. So on that, I just want to mention, include strength training also as much as possible. As a man, you need to strength train as much as possible. It sends the exact signals to your body that your body needs to help regulate your hormones, and it improves your metabolic health. The takeaway with physical activity, if you are a professional and you are sitting for prolonged periods of time, what you want to do, if you can't do anything else, is avoid sitting for more than an hour at a time. Every hour, get up, stand up, stretch, walk around a little bit. Give yourself 5 minutes. If you can give yourself 5 minutes, it will go a long ways. It'll prevent some of these issues or at least help reverse them. I always like to say a walking treadmill is a great investment, or a standing desk. It's way less expensive than, like I said, having to go to a doctor and now try to reverse weight gain and high blood pressure and insulin resistance and all these changes that happen as a result of sitting for long periods of time. And you'll just be amazed actually how much better you feel. You won't have that midday slump as much. You'll have more energy once you do finish up your workday to do other things and spend time with the people that are important to you. Like, for example, stand up when you have a call, if it's possible. Walk during meetings. So the ultimate goal is to decrease the time spent sitting and increase the time spent standing as much as possible. On to stress management. So why is managing stress so important? Well, we all know it is important, but I want to go over that from the perspective of men's health. Chronic ongoing stress lowers your testosterone levels. It causes high blood pressure. It elevates your cholesterol. It weakens your immune system, so you're more likely to get sick or develop chronic disease, right? Insulin resistance, ulcers, low mood or depression. So having a routine in place to manage your stress is very important when it comes to your health and wellness. So put in place at least one new daily stress management practice. If you're not sure what that is or what that would look like, I do have what I call the midday reset scheduled. I'll try to record and post it where I'm going through some practices, some breath work, some mindfulness practices that you can explore. It does not have to take long. 5 to 10 minutes can reset that stress response. Sorry, one moment. I got a little glitch in my computer here. Okay, so well, if breath work and mindfulness, if that's just not for you, I mean, there are other ways to get the same response, such as journaling, yoga, tai chi, prayer, a brisk walk. A 10-minute brisk walk outside can have as much effect as a mild tranquilizer on your mood. Listening to music can calm your nerves. Bluetooth earbuds, some music you enjoy if you are just doing some focused work where you don't have to talk. Some binaural beats are shown to be effective for many, keeping people focused and alert during the workday and managing stress. There are other mind-body techniques out there also. For example, hypnosis, visual imagery, biofeedback, cognitive behavioral therapy, group support, spirituality, and even dancing. So they might sound like they're out of your wheelhouse right now, but don't rule them out totally. Becoming more in tune with our mind and our body is just another tool that we all can use towards overall wellness. So I encourage you to try one or two of these techniques. And the most important element of any wellness practice is consistency and regular practice. Once a week will not change your brain and decrease our stress and anxiety. Think of this as training for your brain. It takes daily practice, but the benefits are enormous. On to sleep. Why sleep matters. So sufficient high quality sleep is critical. It's a critical part of the plan if you are going to improve your health and wellness and reach your goals. Make getting at least 7 hours of quality sleep a priority and try to put in a morning and nighttime routine that supports a good night's sleep. Of course, our brains are remarkable, right? You can replace any other part of your body, or live without any other part of your body, I guess I should say, but we can't replace our brain because our brain is our personality, it's our consciousness, it's who we are. It's constantly working, right? In fact, it does a lot of its work at night while we're asleep. One of the main reasons we sleep is for our brain to recover, rebuild, and reboot. So sleep isn't a luxury, it's necessary for growth, restoration, and peak performance. Improving sleep quality can improve your attention span, your mood, it improves insulin resistance, and it reduces your hunger. And of course, you're a little less sluggish. We go through 4 to 5 cycles of sleep every night, and the deeper stages of sleep is when the brain cleanses itself. And if anything disrupts these cycles, it's harmful to the brain. So the brain cleanses itself through something we call the glymphatic system. where lymphatic fluid in the brain picks up all the garbage in the brain, right, and throws it out. And it's dumped into the venous system. So um, that being said, multitasking and being easily available 24/7 is working against us. One main tip is to set healthy boundaries when it comes to sleep. When it's time to sleep, turn off your phone. And if you have trouble quieting your mind, try reading a book the old-fashioned way. You literally cannot read and get into a book and think of all your to-do lists at the same time. That'll help calm you down. And another tip is a mind dump. Take a piece of paper, actual piece of paper, and an actual pen with your hand, right? Everything that's on your mind, what you have to do, what you have to solve, all the monkey brain stuff, write it down. That'll cue your brain that it's going to be dealt with and will allow you to sleep. Onto social connections. So social connections are important for overall health. This is often overlooked, but it's so, so important. Lack of social connections causes an increase in mortality on par with smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So dedicate time for family and friends. Reach out to family or friends every day, somebody to improve your connection with others. Put it on your schedule. Schedule it. Volunteer in professional organizations, though they provide excellent networking opportunities if this is an area of your life that needs improvement. You can increase your social involvement through organizations, volunteer groups, clubs, meetups, and hobbies. Commit to joining at least one group and becoming an active member. One thing I want to add is use social media with caution. We stay connected, but we're not seeing. There are things that happen in our body hormonally, actually, when we see people face to face, when we get an actual hug, when we have that actual connection. It's different than an online connection or through social media. We're not getting the same benefits from a health perspective. And studies have shown that social media has actually increased anxiety and depression. Try to spend quality time with a cherished friend or family member at least once a week. Life is so busy. If you don't schedule time for people who matter to you, days can slip by without any connection. And on social connection, one last point I want to make is please, please, please use your vacation time. This is important to restore your sanity, right? And enjoy the time with family. What are we working for, right? Ultimately, why are we doing what we're doing? Usually it comes back to family. So with healthy connections, we live longer, healthier lives. Spirituality, the last and sixth pillar I want to talk about today, is spiritual health. Spirituality is often overlooked in our health and wellness, right? Our doctors don't talk about spirituality. And spirituality it can be described as an interconnectedness of self, others, nature, and something greater. It's not necessarily religion. Connection with a larger reality gives our life meaning. It's the dimension of ourselves that's concerned with our deepest values and our sense of purpose. So we've got some work to do today, right? We need to work on reaching the best overall health and well-being, or at least take that first step. We don't want to live our lives ultimately struggling with disease and sickness and low mood and feeling anxious, taking multiple medications with side effects, being overweight. It doesn't have to be that way, but it does take some work. And it's through making lifestyle changes. So don't expect lifestyle changes to to happen overnight. They rarely do. Some changes are easy, while others will frustrate you so much you just want to give up completely. But you know what? Those are likely the changes you need to change the most. The key is not to tackle too many changes at once. Change is hard, but when it comes to reaching a longer, more fulfilling, healthier life, why not change? Why not make these changes? So take some time to reflect on what you have done before or anything you're doing now to get and stay healthy. When it's all said and done, it's the day-to-day choices that we make that have the biggest influence on whether we stay active and sharp as we get older, or we develop life-shortening illnesses, disabilities, and things that affect our quality of life. So many of us continue to face a huge challenge, and this is very, very, very common. And it prevents us from ultimately enjoying a healthy, fulfilling way of living. I call it inertia. It can be called many things. So it's easy to fall into a state of inertia. You just keep doing what you like to do, even though it's harming your health. You know this. It's not easy to change ingrained habits. So maybe you haven't exercised, or you're drinking too many cans of soda or beer a day. The trick is to put some strategies in place to help you take charge of your health. So, and if this resonates with you, please do sign up for a complimentary one-on-one virtual consultation with me. Sometimes with some good, solid support, the right support, these changes happen faster. They're easier to make, and there's clarity moving forward, which is great because it gives you something to build on as you reach more and more of your goals. So once you understand the need for change and the want to change, that's a big hurdle all in itself, right? The next step is making it happen. So strategic planning is a must, and it begins with breaking bad habits. I'll have another lunch and learn or webinar of sorts that will really do a deep dive into goal setting and how to make those changes. So today is just a brief overview, but I'll just go through this really quick. So habits are formed, as we know, as automatic behaviors that are meant to make our lives easier, safer, healthier. That's what a habit is. If we had to think about everything, right? We brush our teeth in the morning. We don't think, should I brush my teeth, right? We just do it. It's automatic. It saves energy. Locking the doors before going to bed is a safety habit that we have. It's a good habit, but not so healthy habits. There are many. Could be eating a bag of chips while watching TV or being sedentary by spending too much time sitting and at the work desk or in front of a computer. So research has shown the key to forming healthy habits is keeping the action simple and consistent. It can take a good 10 weeks for any new habit to take hold, where then you no longer need to think about it. It becomes effortless as you just start to ease into a healthier routine and lifestyle. This is easier said than done, but you have to start somewhere. Remember, we always do whatever we feel is a priority to us. There is never a perfect time for making changes, except for today. Decide what changes you're willing to prioritize regarding your health. And watch how your life will change for the better. It's time to get started on breaking those bad health habits. And let's start with just 7 small steps. First, make a goal. Decide what goal you want to work on to improve your health or your life or your wellness, whatever it is. What is that goal? You're more likely to succeed if you set priorities that are important and attainable to you at the moment. Second, ask yourself, why do I want this goal? Um, do you have a dream that aligns with this goal? For example, if the goal is weight loss, what's going to be different when you lose that weight? What's going to change? And then ask yourself, look at that answer to why, and ask yourself, looking at that why is that important? And dig a little deeper. This is the 3 why exercise. And after you've answered that, look at your answer and ask yourself, why is that important? Then you are getting to the real reason, the real core reason, your motivation. That's your why. Keep you motivated and moving forward. So again, work on one change at a time. Maybe you want to eat healthier or start exercising or reduce stress. Don't try to do all of these at the same time. Just focus on one, maybe one or two, depending. And once that has become routine, focus on the next change. And make a commitment. Make a commitment to yourself. Write it down. Write that goal down and put it somewhere where you have to see it. Tell somebody your intentions. It solidifies your commitment. And getting support from others is very important if you're able to do that. Everyone needs support to encourage them when they hit some rough spots. So by expressing to somebody you trust why this change matters to you, what you're doing, you will make this journey toward reaching your goal much easier and much more enlightening. Fifth step is know your obstacles ahead of time. What is going to get in the way? Anticipate it. Life happens, as it usually does when we're trying to change our lifestyles. Obstacles will inevitably get in the way of making changes, which is why it's important to identify them ahead of time. Every day, even identify the roadblocks you may face or are facing. Are certain commitments taking up too much of your time? Do you lack access to what you need, like workout equipment or a place to walk? The weather? Are most of the foods in your kitchen unhealthy? And prepare for handling those obstacles. After you've identified the challenges, prepare to tear them down. For example, it's easier to eat healthy when you have those foods, the healthy foods, stocked, prepped, and ready to go. You're much less likely to fall back on takeout or fast food or eating out at a restaurant. In that case, you would just start with stocking your kitchen with the basics. You don't have to be perfect. Just do what is doable. You don't have to make huge changes like lightly processed foods such as canned chicken and veggies, things that are still convenient, and are still really easy to make a meal with because you don't want to spend a lot of time, of course, when you don't on making meals when you're already on a tight schedule. So consider prepping your foods on your day off to prevent you from eating out too much and save you time during the week when you need to get through the day. And last here, reward yourself when your goals are met. And maybe others are not going to reward you, right? But go ahead and reward yourself. If you meet your goal of exercising for the week, you deserve a reward, but treat yourself in a way that actually rewards your efforts. So for an example would be buying yourself a new set of workout clothes or fitness tracker. In other words, you're splurging with the money you saved not drinking or eating out or whatever it is that you no longer did. Take that money and put it towards something to reward yourself. So the bottom line is simple. When it comes to lifestyle changes, the more you change, the more likely you are to reach your goals. And what affects your health is in your control. So if you've been gaining weight, needing more medications, or not following through on making these changes, my goal as a coach would be to help you change course. And that starts with a complimentary one-on-one strategy session with me. Either way, you are now in the driver's seat. Thank you so much for being here today and investing time on yourself.